one Bears topic that I actually want everybody's opinion on, outsiders, Courtney and Tosin, and me and Bang on this. So, as we all know, today is like when off-season stuff really starts opening up across the league. I'll be at Alice Hall tomorrow. I'm guessing we're gonna talk to Caleb, DJ, Ben Johnson. You know the top people to talk to. But I've been thinking more and more about what's on the line for this season here with the Bears and the pressure that's going into it. And you go to this guy who Ryan Poles, despite the good offseason that he's had so far. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to attribute a lot of that to Ben Johnson, too, for having a vision of the guys he wants to bring in and having an actual voice in the front office to say who he wants and have a voice in bringing them over here. A lot of these moves haven't been Ryan Poles-esque, in my opinion. Is we all know he's probably not going to get fired, but I also don't really know depending on the situation. I feel like the Bears have to make the playoffs this year. Like they don't have to win the division, but they have to at least get a super wild card spot, or they don't even call it a super wild card anymore. They have to get one of the last seed, 6 or 7 seed, in order for this to be a successful season. Got year 2, Caleb Williams. You've got the guy who we've been wanting as head coach for the last 2 years, added to the offensive line. Hopefully they have a good draft. And I really feel like, yeah, they say they won't fire Ryan Poles, even though they still won't tell us how long his contract is. Some people say he signed an extension. Some say he got 1 more year. We don't really know. But I feel all that is very pending on how this season ends. If they go out there and have another failure of a season that they had last year, the niggas not making it through the season, in my opinion. They've got to have a very good jump. Because outside of the additions you had here, outside of the year 2 of your generational quarterback that we still gotta hope he is one, and I have a lot of faith that he is, that's gotta improve. You know, some of the guys he drafted, can Jaquan Brisker stay healthy? Can these other guys step up? What's the defense gonna be looking like? What are you gonna do in the draft? If all these questions aren't answered and it's a decrease, or maybe they only win 1 or 2 more games, I think he could be about here. Bane, what's your thoughts on Ryan Poles' job security with, we know what the front office is saying now and ownership. Do you think that could change pending on how the season goes?
Everything can change how the season goes. But it feels like to me that they are all on the same page. And I was listening to Kevin Warren with Mike Florio and Chris Sims, and he just kept preaching patience until you don't have it no more. I think the patience is running thin with Eberflus, but I think that after hearing Warren too, that it would have to take a meltdown in order for Ryan Poles to lose his job. Like it would have to be a complete utter disaster in order for that to happen. And I don't think this season is going to be that. Vegas is projecting the Bears at 8.5. That's what the bet is. The over and under bet is 8.5. The division, the other people in the division, for the exception of Green Bay, has went down. Minnesota had 14 wins. They think their over and under is at nine
They're
and a
8 2.
half.
They're 8.5
Oh
too.
yeah, the 8.5 too. The Lions are at 10.5.
Yep.
So this looks like it's going to be a very competitive division. So they would have to have another 5-12 type season. But if that were to happen, then that means you not only have questions about Ryan Poles, you have questions around Caleb Williams too.
Yeah.
Because if you go 5-12, if you shit the bed with this team and Caleb is healthy and he plays all season long, they should win at least 8-9 games. But if you do that shit, he plays all year long and they shit the bed, then this is an organizational failure. This is not just a Ryan Poles. This is a George McCaskey. I said Michael McCaskey on the last show. My bad.
That's 80 of
Y'all
them.
ain't correcting me
It's
either.
80 of them,
Y'all
man.
ain't even
No.
y'all ain't even correcting me
I
either.
didn't correct you because it was 80 of them. And I was like, I don't know. He might be talking about one of them niggas.
But me, George is gone. I mean,
Yeah.
Mike was gone, so that's what I'm like. Damn,
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
felt
Okay.
bad.
Yeah. That's my fault.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
but yeah, that's where the issue goes in. If they're not successful this season, this is an organizational failure. Even though you feel like you got the right coach, the coach brought in the right staff has brought in some good free agents. They've solidified the offensive line. They got the 10th pick in the draft. They got 2 picks in the second round, and they're high picks as well. The stars are aligning. So it will have to take some wild shit in order for that to happen. But if it's an injury plagued season, then that might cut them some bail too. So it really has to be like Caleb sucks in order for that to happen.
Tosin, as an outsider, what do you think should happen with Bears? Like, a lot of people outside of Bears fandom, Bears media, were wondering what this team would do last year. A lot of hype last year, drafting Caleb Williams, drafting Roma Dunze. Them niggas was on Hard Knocks, everything, and we fell after London. I was flying high at London, nigga. I was in London taking shots with Bears fans at the pub. I'm having a good time. 4-1 nigga, we finna be good. 2 weeks later, the Hail Mary, and it went, and we won one game for the rest of the year. What do you think needs to happen for the Bears this season before heads start rolling in the front office?
I don't think heads should be rolling anytime soon anyway. I think that you have to be patient. I think in sports in general, fans just want success overnight, and it doesn't happen like that. Like, you got a GM, you got to grow with him, you got to grow with the young quarterback. You have a first year coach. Like, relax. You're not going to win the Super Bowl in your first year with Ben Johnson as your coach. He needs to be embedded in first. So give it a couple of years before you start letting heads roll. I mean, I'm talking about a place of privilege where I've only had 2 GMs in my life, and one of them is a Hall of Famer.
Must be nice.
Hey, it's a beautiful place to be. But I just think fans need to be patient. Just like generally, like, yo, calm down. Like, you got a quarterback in his second year. He's learning his team. They're learning him, and he's got a new offensive line. Ryan Poles is trying to do the best he can with, knowing where he failed last year. So now it's like, okay, we failed last year. How do we now take a step up and win more games? Because you're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. It's just, unless some kind of freak miraculous shit happens, the Bears aren't going to win the Super Bowl next year. So it's like, build and blast to get to that Super Bowl. You give your coach and you give your players the best platform for them to do their best. And that's really it. So that's how I see it. It's like, yo, be patient. Just generally be patient.
Courtney, do you see it the same way?
Absolutely, 100%. I don't see a scenario, unless, like Bang said, where if the Bears have a disastrous season 5-12, and yeah, I don't foresee that happening. I do think Caleb takes a step up with all the trades and everything that you guys made, or the acquisitions you made, I should say. Yeah, I think you guys take a step forward this season. Do I think you make the playoffs? I'm not sure yet. But I don't think he gets fired if you guys don't make the playoffs, if there is some improvement there. Because based on, again, what Bang said, it seems like there's a general understanding, at least, again, from my opinion, of patience, and just be patient, just wait it out, and good things will come to you very soon. But I don't think it's happening this season. And I don't think Ryan Bolt's in the season.
Yeah, I think unless it's like them niggas win 4 games, like you said, Bang, either one or two reasons that happens. Either they're brutally injured, like Caleb out for the season injured, or this nigga's just like bad. That's the only way I see it end up like that. And I do think they're gonna have patience for him. But having said all of that, I will be at training camp with a damn notepad like, this doesn't look as good to me as I thought it would look. And we gonna overreact about it on the show. DA says in the chat, hey, I'm behind as hell. But as somebody who lost money on 2 draws this weekend, Scott is right. Exactly. Abolish draws in the Premier League.
That's your problem. Y'all some degenerate gamblers. Y'all should never, ever gamble in sports. And that's your problem right there.
I don't gamble, but shout out to our boy Mikey, he's the king gambler. But Courtney, we're going to get you about here. We about to get into some real NBA talk on here because the playoffs are getting ready to kick off next week. Anything you want to say before you get about it?
Absolutely not. Stanley Cup playoffs start next weekend. Shit's about to get real. Stay locked in. Hockey for Dummies is coming back very soon. Make sure you also tune in to High and Outside for all that premium baseball talk. I can't be giving you everything on this because y'all don't pay for that. But,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hockey for Dummies coming back in about 2 weeks, which is for everybody who not on game on hockey and need to know what's going on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Courtney got you. So you can follow Courtney at 100 Collar Bro on all social media platforms. Courtney will holler at you on Friday.
Beautiful.
Right now, catch I'm Not Gonna Hold You, hosted by Scott Lewis every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on HMB Media and the Barber's Chair Network.